Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for getting ready to listen to your new episode of Shooting Lights Out. The Playmakerz Blog and Shooting Lights Out is sponsored by Fanatics. Get your official license everything with Fanatics. From hats, to jerseys, to shirts, to pants, to double bags, to whatever you want, including memorabilia from Fanatics.com. Get great deals, great sales on everyday prices with your official license everything, Fanatics. And it's also brought to you by Liz, Locker Room by Liz. Get your favorite hat with your favorite team logo on it. Get even customized t-shirts from Locker Rooms by Liz. Now, let's prepare for shooting lights out.
Sound like some Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting lights out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shooting Lights Out. This is going to be a busy week for me when it comes to Shooting Lights Out. This is the first of 3 episodes that I'm doing today. Before I get into it in today's first show, Fanatics.com, if you heard the opening intro, yes, we are sponsored by Fanatics. The official license everything. Today only, ladies and gentlemen. You can get up to 65% off site-wide using the promo code RANK. That is RINK, RANK, to get up to 65% off on site-wide items today. So get ready, get your gear, get all that going, especially with Martin Madness going, which is part of the main reason why I'm doing 3 shows this week instead of the normal one. We are also sponsored by Liz, and for today only, Liz by Locker Room. Today only, you can get up to 70% off clearance sale plus free U.S. shipping over $24. That is Liz, Locker Room by Liz, up to 70% off clearance sale plus free shipping over orders. That's $24. Use the promo code LIDS24. That is LIDS24. So let's get it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the basketball world, and there's a lot of things going on. That's why I got to break it up to 3 shows. Instead of 1 big show, we're going to break it up to 3 shows. So today, ladies and gentlemen, today, we are going to focus on the NBA today. And, Tuesday and Wednesday, we will focus on the NCAA, the men's and the women's. I have a special guest coming on for the women's. Queen of Who's Making Price. We're going to dive into the women's tournament. I know Tuesday, I'm going to dive into the men's. I might have some guests. I don't know yet. I'm still working that out. But today, we're going to focus on the NBA, okay? Today is all about the NBA because they're going down the stretch. Be about 15 games left into the season, okay? So let's go ahead and get to it. First, I'm going a little too fast. Sorry. Kevin Durant ankle expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks, sources say. It was back on March 9th. This was about 4 days ago. He's going to be evaluated close to the end part of the season. They said there's a chance he could play that final week of the season, or he could sit out in this return for the playoffs, which is quite interesting, but we're going to get into why a little later because we're going to look at the standings. I believe as of right now, I do believe that the Suns are sitting 4th in the West right now. I could be wrong. Let me look at it just to be sure right now. Just to see where they exactly hit in the standings right here. They are 4th in the West right now at 37-30. We're gonna see how long can they keep it there because they got that final spot. They are 2 games ahead of the Los Angeles Clippers, who are 5th right now. So we're gonna see if they can hold fort without Kevin Durant. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. They got to hold down a fort and whatnot without KD. See, they can maintain that 4th spot. If they can maintain that 4th spot, that's home court in the first round at the very least for the Phoenix Suns. All right, so Kevin Durant, ankle injury, he got hurt doing pregame warm-ups in a home matchup, so he has never played a whole game in Phoenix as of right now. The 3 games he's played all on the road. Never had the home crowd cheer him on yet, so they still got to wait for that one, and it could come into the playoffs. Nevertheless, Kevin Durant will be reevaluated within about the next week or two to go on. Okay, so we should see where he's at right now, and we'll go forward from there in that point standard. All right. Grizzlies talked to John Morant about conduct before video, coaches say. So Taylor Jenkins said they had a meeting with John Morant before the video surfaced of him with an apparent handgun in a club out in Denver, Colorado. Nevertheless, the other reports came out saying the team had a players only meeting led by Steven Adams about the team's conduct off the court before the alleged video surfaced on Instagram. Nevertheless, Denver PD has come out and said that they will not be charging John Morant. They don't have enough evidence of him breaking any laws in Denver about that video that was published in a nightclub out in Denver, Colorado. There's no evidence that he broke a law. That's some good news. Other news coming out, John Morant will be missing at least the next 4 games. At first it was 2, now it's up to 6. John Morant did come out and apologize to Memphis, to the organization, to the city of Memphis, to the fan base of Memphis, to his family, to his supporters out there of his behavior as of lately. Hopefully, he's getting the help that he needs. He's getting the good help that he needs, that he has a great supporting system around him right now in proximity, and that he will come back to do what he needs to do, because he's the face of this franchise. He is the face of the franchise in Memphis. He is one of the faces of the league. When you talk NBA, John Morant is in the conversation. You know, you hear John Morant, you hear Steph Curry, you hear LeBron James, you know. Okay? He has that spot because Zion Williamson can't stay healthy. So we don't see Zion enough. And so who's the number 2 pick in that draft? That would be one John Morant from Murray State. So he's one of the faces of the league. So we need one of the faces of the league to do what he needs to do to get himself right mentally, so he can get back on the court and do what he does best on the court, physically. Nevertheless, it's a tough situation, and we are all praying for John Morant. We are all hoping that he gets the help that he needs, that he's going to get back on the court sooner rather than later to do what he does best, because this team, Memphis, they are currently 3rd. And we'll see why later on when we get to the standings. But he's currently 3rd in the West. Kyrie Irving foot, Luka Doncic thigh. They were out for the game over the weekend against them. They're out for the game against the Memphis Grizzlies. I believe that thing was updated not that long ago, if I remember correctly. They say Kyrie Irving is questionable for this game. There's a chance that he might play, but Luka is definitely out for this game. This is an important game for both teams on the standing wise. Dallas is hanging around that 7-6 spot. They want that 6 spot to avoid the play-in. Memphis is currently 3rd. They was 2nd, but they are currently 3rd now. So a very important game for both the Mavericks and the Grizzlies, okay? And this game is in Dallas. It'll be on ESPN. So it should be an interesting one, how both teams do without their star players sideline, with John Morant not with the team and Luka Doncic not playing at all in tonight's game against the Grizzlies. Kyle Lowry comes off the bench and return as he losing overtime. That was over the weekend where Kyle Lowry was dealing with a hamstring injury, some type of leg injury. And he has okay to come off the bench. So that streak of starting, it was like 250-something straight games as a starter, had came to an end, but he's okay because he's returning from injury. And, with the Heat organization, who does a great job of trying to bring players back slowly to ensure they are back for the long run, which is the playoffs, which is not that far away. They want to make sure Kyle Lowry gets to 100% before it's that playoff push to get him back in the starting lineup, because they are a fight team right now. Last time I checked, they was in a playing spot. Like I said earlier, we'll be looking at the standings in a bit. So now that is what we are at. So Kyle Lowry is still, going through some things right now. So hopefully once this stretch run is over with, he can get back in the starting lineup and get ready for the playoffs, because like I said, we're not that far away from the playoffs. All right, let's take a quick break right here. When we come back, we're going to recap what took place over the weekend. The Playmakerz Blog is proudly to announce that it is sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, where you can get all your official licensed sports gear, memorabilia, whether it's for the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or even International Soccer League, or even college sports. So rep your team, rep the hardware, get comfortable, because Fanatics is the way to go, where sports fans shop and official license everything. All right, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen. As I said earlier, Fanatics, your official license everything. Today only, up to 65% off site-wide orders. Use the promo code RANK, RANK. That is your promo code to get up to 65% off site-wide on your Fanatic order. All right, now that we're back on Shooting Lights Out, let's recap what took place over the weekend, beginning on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, we saw the Cleveland Cavaliers down in South Beach to take on the Miami Heat in a game where the stars showed up. Donovan Mitchell for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jimmy Butler for the Miami Heat. Despite Donovan Mitchell going for 42 in the game, it was Jimmy Butler with the 33 points, 5 boards. He also got help from Tyler Hero with 25 points and 9 boards to hold off the Cleveland Cavaliers 119-115 in that game. That was a good win for the Miami Heat that put them at 36-32 back on Friday. Very good win. We're going to head from South Beach. We're going to head up north to the city of brotherly love. It was the Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Portland Trailblazers. And Portland, yet again, found himself with a big lead. I think the lead reached as high as 18. And they blew it. Philadelphia came back and beat the Portland Trailblazers 121-19 at home, with Joel Embiid hitting the game-winning fadeaway jumper. Anthony Simon, 34 points to lead the Portland Trailblazers. Damian Lillard gave you 22 points with 11 assists. You got 24 from Jeremy Grant, but it wasn't enough because Joel Embiid, 39 points, 7 boards to lead the way for the 76ers comeback win over the Portland Trailblazers. If Portland was to be able to hold on to big leads, Portland would not be fighting for a postseason berth or a play-in berth, should I say. We're gonna keep it real here. If Portland had learned how to hold on to big leads, they would not be 31-36 after losing that game. They'll probably be somewhere 38, 39, 40 wins if they learn how to hold on to big behind leads. But they don't. This is why they're fighting for a play-in spot and could possibly lose because the other teams are learning how to win. It irks my nerves when you can build to a 20-point lead and you can blow it numerous times. It hurts my freaking nerves. It gives me a headache. I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. I really can't. Okay, I just can't. All right, from the city of brotherly love down to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where two teams that are fighting for a play-in spot do battle in the nation's capital. The Washington Wizards hosting the Atlanta Hawks. 114 to 107. The Hawks get that win. They sweep the 2-game series in the nation's capital over the Wizards. The battle of young stars between Bradley Beal and Trae Young. Trae Young, 28 points, 9 assists. Bradley Beal, 27 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists. But it was the Hawks getting the W over the Wizards, dropping the Wizards to 31-6. The Hawks move up to 34-33. Continue on. This is all from Friday. The Nets going to Minnesota and come out victorious 124-123 in the Twin City in overtime. Despite not having Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets are still playing some good ball. Mikal Bridges, who's coming out to be a star now. He just balling. 34 points to lead the way. You got 29 for Spencer Dinwiddie, but 11 assists. That's a team right there. And the Brooklyn Nets has 7 guys in double figures. You can do Dorian Finney-Smith in there with 11, Cameron Johnson with 15, Nick Claxton with 11, Royce O'Neal off the bench with 12 and 15 boards, and Seth Curry with 11 off the bench. Anthony Edwards led the Minnesota Timberwolves with 32 points and 6 boards. You got a double-double from Rudy Gobert with 26 and 13. You got 15 apiece from Kyle Anderson and Jaden McDaniels. But it wasn't enough to defend home court. Then they close out Friday night. D'Angelo Russell returned to the Lakers as they host the Toronto Raptors, and they put it on the Toronto Raptors 122-112. D'Angelo Russell returned and led the way with 28 points in the game. Going on with 5 rebounds and 9 assists. They didn't need Anthony Davis, who only scored 8 points in that game and gave you 9 rebounds. We didn't need it because D'Angelo Russell came back with a vengeance. And Dennis Smith-Schuster came off the bench to back up D'Angelo Russell with 23 points and 7. I said, so your point guards combined for 51 points, 16 assists, and 6 rebounds. That's a damn good stat for point guards to combine for like that. Sorry, but yeah, Raptors can do nothing. That was Friday. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday, we saw the Miami Heat, who got a big win over Cleveland, but they lost to the in-state rival, the Orlando Magic, 126-114 in overtime. That's the Magic outscored the Heat 18-6 in overtime. How you get scored 18-6 in overtime? By the Orlando Magic, Miami. Jimmy Butler dropped 38 points. You got 14-7 from Bam Adebayo. That's not going to cut it, Bam. You are all-star, and you coming out here and getting 14-7. That is not you. It's not what Miami needs from you, Bam. They need more from you, Bam Adebayo. Jimmy needs more from you. Okay? If Miami's going to be a team to be threatened with in the playoffs like they have been for the past 4 or 5 years, Bam Adebayo needs to do better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Bam Adebayo cannot be sitting here with 14-7 in games. That cannot happen. That just cannot happen. Tyler Hill gave you 14-5. You got 13 from Gabe Vincent. It was an off night for the Heat, but Bam gets to play better. And this young Orlando team, I love this. This team is young, but they are balling. They are some ballers. Paulo Banchero, 17-10-9. Frank Wagner, 17-8-6. Wendell Carter Jr., 27-11 to lead the Magic. Markelle Fultz, 12 points, 8 assists. Gary Harris gave you 11 points. You got 16 off the bench apiece from Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. Them two by themselves combined for 32 points, 7 assists, and 11 rebounds. That's a great production from your backup guards. That is very great production. And yet, the Orlando Magic is still in the hunt for a play-in spot, surprisingly, at 28-40 right now. Like I said, when we show the stand, you will understand this stuff. But Miami needs more from Bam Adebayo, and they ain't getting it. The Boston Celtics went down to the Dirty Bird to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Marcus Smart, Trae Young get into it. Marcus Smart gets injected, but it didn't matter because Jason Tatum had his back with 34 points to lead away with a 134-125 win over the Atlanta Hawks, even though Trae Young dropped 35. There's levels to this. When Trae Young officially learns that there's levels to this, he will be something to be reckoned with in the playoffs. Yeah, everybody's enamored with that one run that they had to the Eastern Conference Finals. We all know why they got there, and we know what happened when they got there. Until they put it all together and understand there's levels to this, you won't be the Milwaukee and you won't be the Boston. And you might not be Philly next go around. So there's levels to this, okay? There's levels to this. The first matchup over the weekend, Dallas and Memphis got together down in Memphis, where there was no Kyrie Irving and no Luka Doncic in that game. And the Grizzlies did not have John Morant. Nevertheless, 112-108 was the score. Desmond Bane, 25 points to lead the Grizzlies. And you had Tim Hardaway Jr. led the Dallas Mavericks with 23 points. Jared Hardy gave you 22. Jared Green gave you 21, but it wasn't enough. That's the Grizzlies got the much-needed win in that one. And then you had the New York Knicks in the City of Angels to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Spike Lee was in attendance, sitting next to Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, and it was Kawhi. It was the Kawhi Leonard show. 38 points. Paul George got 22. As the Clippers hold off the Knicks, 106-95. The Knicks dropped the Knicks down to the 30-game losing streak at this point in time after they won 9 in a row, and I gave them a heat check. Continue on to Saturday. Good win for the Oklahoma City Thunder of the New Orleans Pelicans, 110-196. They put them in a tie right now as both teams are fighting for playing spots. Your Saturday night showcase, it was the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Golden State Warriors, your last two NBA champions. Last year was the Golden State Warriors, the year before the Milwaukee Bucks. Steph Curry took over in the fourth quarter in overtime, dropping 22 of his 36 total points in the fourth quarter in overtime. As he scored 9 points in overtime, the Milwaukee only scored 5. Milwaukee was outscored 14-5 in overtime. Steph Curry had 9 of the 14 for the Golden State Warriors. Great win even though Giannis did not play for the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's get that out the way. Nevertheless, this team was still able to compete. Milwaukee had 7 guys in double figures, led by Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez, both having 19 points each. You had 18 from Holiday, 15 from Bobby Portis, 15 for Joe Ingles. You had 13 for Jared Carter. You had 12 from Grayson Allen. But it was the Steph Curry show. Steph Curry, 36 points. Klay Thompson added 22. Devin DiVincenzo added 20. You got 18 from Jeff Green off the bench, only 13 from Jordan Poole. Nevertheless, the Golden State Warriors got the win, a much needed win that they need. But can they take that on the road? That is my big question for the Golden State. Yeah, play like this at home, by the way, just my opinion. If Giannis would have played, I don't think y'all win that game. Just to be honest, I don't think y'all win that game. If Giannis is playing, y'all not winning that game. Okay? This team, this is not the championship team that I have known to watch over the past 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, how many years you want to call the run. 4-time champions. They don't look like this. During the 4-time champions, they will win on the road and they will beat you the same exact way they do at home. And it's like, well, we got to find some type of way to beat them. But on the road, they don't play like this. It's at home, or you win for it. You win for it if it's at home. Nevertheless, 35-33 on the season. Milwaukee still has the best record in the league at 48-19. The final game for Saturday night, it was down in the desert with the Phoenix Suns hosting the Sacramento Kings. The Kings have 40 wins. The Sacramento Kings have 40 wins because they beat the Suns 128-119. I want y'all to understand the Sacramento Kings have more wins than the Phoenix Suns. They have more wins than the Golden State Warriors. They have more wins than the Lakers and the Clippers. The Sacramento Kings. It's the third team in the West to have 40 wins. Memphis has 40 wins. Denver has like 45, I think. 40, I don't remember. I think it's like 45 right now. The Kings, though. And it's by committee. There's no one person. It's by committee. Like the leading scorer for the Kings in that game against the Suns was Harrison Barnes with 19, but they scored 128. Your leading scorer is Harrison Barnes with 19 points, and you scored 128 points. De'Aaron Fox had 18 points. Malik Monk off the bench with 18 points. Sabonis had 17 points. Lyles off the bench with 13. Mitchell off the bench with 13. Edwards off the bench with 12. Keegan Murray ain't even scored. He only took 3 shots. He ain't even scored. That's even worse. Like, they leading rookie didn't even score and only took 3 shots. And they beat the Phoenix Suns. It is things like this that amazes me. When I said the Kings would be the team I would look out for, I didn't mean like this, okay? Because I knew they had a head coach in Mike Brown. Mike Brown's a champion. He coached LeBron James, Kyrie, and all that. He coached that team, okay? He's been under Steve Kerr with the Warrior Dynasty for quite some time. So he's part of about at least 3 of the championships that the Golden State Warriors won, if not all 4. So I knew bringing in Mike Brown with his young team, but the time that I watched him, I'm saying they can make the playoffs. They most likely probably get a play in because I don't see a big turnaround, but it's gonna be a turnaround. But it was a big turnaround because they the third team in the West that have 40 wins. So shout out to Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings on that one. And then let's get to yesterday's lineup, beginning with the Washington Wizards in the city of Boyd Love to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. And it was no problem from Philly whatsoever. 112-83. Joel Embiid, 34 points, 8 boards. James Harden with a quiet 18-14 on the day. That's all it really took for them to take down the Washington Wizards, giving Philly their 45th win of the season and having Washington trying to fight for that playing spot about a thread right now. Next up was a big shocker right here. Denver, Colorado, as the Brooklyn Nets walked into Denver, Colorado, and took down the Denver Nuggets 122-120. Mikal Bridges led the way with 25 points. You got 20 from Nick Claxton. 20 from Nick Claxton. That's crazy. And a matchup with Jokic, and you still can come up with 20 points. I like that. 15 from Dinwiddie, 15 from Dorian Finney-Smith. Cam Johnson gave you 14. You got 11 off the bench from Russell Neal, 12 off the bench from Steph Curry. Not bad. The 2-time leading MVP gave you a triple-double with 35 points, 20 boards, and 11 assists. So Jokic gave you 35 points, 20 rebounds, and 11 assists, and you lose that game? And you lose that game. You lose this game. When Jokic got you 35 points, 20 rebounds, and 11 assists, and you lose that game. That's the game that you lose. Let's see. Jamal Murray, 17 points, bad shooting day. 5 for 19 from the field. All 5 of his shots were 3-pointers. 5 of 12 from 3. Michael Porter Jr., 23 points. Good. That's a good showing. 9 for 12 from the field. That's a good showing. Aaron Gordon only 13 points. Need more from you. Kentavious Caldwell only 8. That's not good. Jeff Green only 7. Bruce Brown only 9. Only got 2 points from Reggie Jackson. Like, that's not going to cut it. Yes, this is a bad time to be on the losing streak, Denver. That's your 3rd consecutive loss. With, I think, 2 of them at home. Okay, you lost to the Bulls. And, matter of fact, you lost to the Bulls, the Spurs, and now the Nets. Listen to the teams that you lost to, Denver, and you're the team that's 45, that's 46-22. Yeah, the last 3 games were the Bulls, the Spurs, and the Nets, and you lost all 3. You lost to the Bulls 117-96. Then you went to San Antonio and you got beat 120-128 by the Spurs, which is, I don't know how you get beat by 28 by the Spurs. I don't know how you get beat by Denver. double digits by the Spurs. I just don't understand that. And then you come back and you lose to Brooklyn Nets. That's a 3-game losing streak, Denver. You're supposed to be the best team in the West. This is not the time to be on a losing streak. This ain't the time for that. This ain't the time for that. You need to right your ship right away. Now you got to go on an East Coast trip now. Matter of fact, speaking of the East Coast trip, you got to go to Toronto. You got to go to Detroit. You got to go to New York for both New York for the Knicks and Brooklyn. Washington, before you come home, you got to play Milwaukee on the 25th of March. And then Philly comes in on the 27th. Hey, y'all might want to turn this around. Lucky enough for y'all have a huge lead in the West. It's going to take a miracle for either Memphis or Sacramento to catch y'all. But you do not want to go in the playoffs losing games now. This ain't the time to lose games if you're different. You worked all this hard work to now start losing games. That's not how we roll here in the NBA. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. All right, back to that. The New Orleans Pelicans beat the Portland Trail Blazers 127-110. No, Damian Lillard. It didn't even matter because it was about Trey Murphy for the New Orleans Pelicans. Like 41 points, 13 from 20 from the field, not from 14 from 3. He also grabbed 7 rebounds just for the heck of it. And then CJ McCullough added 22 points with 11 assists and 5 rebounds. I mean, it don't even matter. Anthony Simons didn't show up. He only had 17 points. Matisse Thybulle 10 points. No Damian Lillard, as I said. So, yeah. And then the New York Knicks, who was on a 3-game losing streak, snapped a 3-game losing streak against the Los Angeles Lakers, 112-1 away. Julius Randle being the man of New York that he needs to be, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. RJ Barrett being that sidekick, 30 points, 5 boards. That's 3 points all it took. Anthony Davis, 17 points, 16 boards. But D'Angelo Russell is being that point guard, that scoring point guard, and when it's time to score 33 points to lead the way for the Lakers with 8 assists and 5 boards, but he didn't have help. Dennis Schroeder, 14 points off the bench. Austin Reed, 13 points off the bench. Rory Hachimura, 12 points off the bench. Anthony Davis, 17 and 16. The rebounds is good. It's the 17 points that's a problem. Like Anthony Davis, when this streak first started for the Lakers, you were balling. You was giving us 13. He was giving us 30 and 12, 28 and 15, 33 and 16. The rebounds is good. It's that you missed 10 shots. You went 8 for 18, Anthony Davis. You can't go 8 for 18, man. You can't do that. No, you need to be dominant. Julius Randle went 11 for 24 and he dropped 33 points. Okay? That was the matchup. It was you versus Julius Randle, Anthony Davis, and Julius Randle outplayed you. Just call it what it is. 33 points is a hell of a lot more than 17 points. You double him in rebounds. You got 16. He only had 8. But he made sure he made an impact on the game. You didn't. You got to be better, Anthony Davis. This is the Los Angeles Lakers we're talking about here. Okay? This is the Los Angeles Lakers we're talking about. You don't have LeBron James. You already know that. You can't lose this type of game. You have to win this game at home. But you didn't. So now you fall down to 33 and 35 on the season. 2 games on the 500. When the last time y'all been up to 500? Somebody tell me it was the last time the Los Angeles Lakers was over 500. We're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to preview the week ahead. And we'll get out of here.
The Playmakerz Blog is proudly to announce that it landed a partnership deal with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus. Stream live sports from any device that you have, whether it is your computer, laptop, or even your cellular device. Catch breaking news live when it happens, and enjoy a mountain of entertainment from movies to shows to whatever you love doing. Paramount Plus. Plan starts at $4.99 a month, but right now you can get a free trial. Just hit that link below with the Playmakerz Blog and start your free trial right now. Paramount Plus, mountains of entertainment.
All right, welcome back to Shooting the Lights Out. These are the standings after what took place this weekend. Milwaukee Bucks still ahead of the Boston Celtics by a game and a half at 48-19, and Boston's at 47-21. You see Phillies in second place. Looks like they have a 3.5 game lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are fourth. You got the Nets in fifth, the Knicks in sixth, with the Heat at 7, the Hawks at 8, Raptors at 9, Bulls at 10. To round out the playing spot, with the Washington Wizards right there at 11 with the same record as the Bulls, but the Bulls have the better conference record. Is the reason why they're ahead of the Washington Wizards. Right behind them, a half a game back, is the Indiana Pacers. And then as you look 3.5 games back is the Orlando Magic, okay? So if the Bulls, Wizards, and Pacers want to keep beating each other up, and Orlando finds and somehow gets on a winning streak that they have done a few times this season, things could be interesting for my Orlando Magic, but I doubt it. But nevertheless, they're not out of it, surprisingly. So it ain't gonna take it'll only take one bad losing streak for those three teams. We view the Bulls, the Wizards, or the Pacers. It only takes a 4-game losing streak and Orlando to get hot, and all of a sudden things look different. Just saying. So nevertheless, this is where we stand at in the East. Let's go to the West. Nuggets have a 5.5 game lead over the Sacramento Kings and the Grizzlies. As you see, it's the Kings that are second and the Grizzlies that are third, because the Kings have a better conference record than the Memphis Grizzlies. And that is a 5-game difference in conference, meaning that the Grizzlies need to start winning games in conference or find a way to finish better than the Kings. Otherwise, the Kings would be the one with the home court advantage if that was to meet in the second round, and not the Memphis Grizzlies. The Phoenix Suns are sitting in fourth at 37-30. The Clippers right there, 2 games behind the Suns at 36-33. A half a game behind the Clippers is the Golden State Warriors, the reigning defending champions, at 35-33. Your playing spot, as shown, is the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Utah Jazz. Which is going to be interesting to see how quickly those things are, because the Pelicans are sitting on the outside looking in at 32-35, along with the Oklahoma City Thunder at 32-35, and right behind them is the Portland Trailblazers at 31-36. So going into the week, we're going into the new week. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, 7:30, the Utah Jazz are in South Beach to take on the Miami Heat. Minnesota, they are in the Dirty South to take on Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. ESPN tonight is a special doubleheader on ESPN tonight. Usually you get ESPN on Wednesdays, but you get it on a special Monday, as it is the Memphis Grizzlies in the Lone Star State to take on the Dallas Mavericks. After that, at 10 p.m. on ESPN, the Phoenix Suns, they are in the Chase Center to take on the reigning defending champion Golden State Warriors. And the surprising Kings, the Sacramento Kings, they are hosting the Milwaukee Bucks at 10 p.m. That's your games for tonight. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, NBA TV has your doubleheader at 7:30. You got the Denver Nuggets at the Toronto Raptors. 8 p.m., the Los Angeles Lakers, they are in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. Both teams need that. Whoever loses that game is going to put themselves in a dire need to go on around like none before. So if you're the Lakers or the Pelicans, you might want to play this game like it's a playoff game, because it's kind of feeling that way. Also at 8, the hot Brooklyn Nets, they are on the road to take on Shai Gilgeous Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Your second of a doubleheader on NBA TV has the Milwaukee Bucks in the desert to take on the Phoenix Suns, your rematch of the NBA Finals from 2 years ago. And then your other 10 o'clock game nightcap special is the New York Knicks. They are in Portland to take on Dame Dollar and the Portland Trailblazers. That is all games for tomorrow. And then Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, the Memphis Grizzlies are in South Beach to take on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, they are on the road to begin the ESPN doubleheader, the usual ESPN doubleheader on Wednesdays, as they take on Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was a big game. Philly can distance themselves even further from Philly for the 3 spot, or Cleveland can inch closer to the 3 spot by beating Philly. At 8 p.m., the surprising Sacramento Kings, they are in the Chi-Town to take on Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls. Also at 8, the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, will take on Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Twin City. And then your 10 p.m. game on ESPN after you get Sixers and Cavs, you get the Golden State Warriors against the Los Angeles Clippers. Steph Curry and the crew on the road at the Crypto.com Arena to take on Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers. That is the show for you guys on today. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back tomorrow and Wednesday because we're going to talk the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow, I'll be focused on the men's NCAA tournament. Lose, notes, headlines, breaking down the brackets and whatnot. We'll do the same thing on Wednesday when we switch over to the ladies side of it. And we'll have the Queen of Hoops on with me to talk ladies NCAA tournament. So let's get ready. Get your brackets out. Links are posted all over the place. They'll be posting in the show notes as well. So get your brackets ready for tomorrow. Get your brackets ready for Wednesday, men's and women's. $100 is on the line for each bracket. If you outdo me in the men's bracket, you win $100. If you outdo me in the women's bracket, you win $100. If you outdo me in both brackets, you win $200. So hey, I'm putting $200 on the line for the bracket challenges. So join me tomorrow and Wednesday as we break down the brackets. Until then, enjoy your basketball, enjoy your NBA. The Playmaker signing out. I'll catch y'all later.
You've done good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.
Masterpiece.